Hey there, welcome to this video. I rarely make videos, um, and I'm kind of camera shy, so just bear with me here. And this is not planned, but this is Autostrada. So I found this on the Golang Weekly newsletter, and it caught my interest because I've been writing Go for about 2 years now, and one of the things um, that I noticed with Go is if you write Go, there's a lot of benefits from a code generator. Um, if you write Go, there's a lot of benefit from a code generator. And I like Go libraries that takes the approach of code generation, especially ORMs. But having said that, code generation is fantastic if you're coming from a language like Ruby on Rails. One of the cool things about Rails is the scaffold generator, right? And even Create React App generates some of those boilerplate templates for you. So code generation is a good tool to have. Now, Autostrada claims to be. Let's just take a look at this because this is my first time. This is an honest review. I haven't used this before. It's my first time. So we're right here on the website. This was found in the Golang newsletter. So let's just go through it one at a time. So yeah. Okay, cool. So right here you see there isn't much. So one of the things I was looking for here was a GitHub link. I couldn't find any. I guess the developers of these don't want to outsource the code, so that's fine. But I didn't see any GitHub link here. But let's just go over some of the things it offers. And just to give you an overview, some of the things I'll be going over includes. So I'll talk about maybe what I like about it, maybe what I don't like about it, and if I would ever use this in production, and maybe potential alternatives out there. All right, cool. So the perfect start to your new Go project. Okay, effortlessly generate the ideal application scaffold for your Go projects, customize your needs, and saving yourself hours of time and thinking. Okay, cool. So one of the things about Go that I know is the reason, like depending on the type of application you're building, there isn't a standardized way to structure your project, and there shouldn't be, because every application, whether it's a web application, a command line application, any kind of application, the folder structure would be different. And even if it's a web application, so framework like Rails have a standard, um, you know, application structure. So, but the Go community doesn't have one. But this is claiming to be, something that helps you. And trust me, thinking about how to structure application can be a lot of work. So having a project like this help you do that, I'd say kudos to that. So let's see some of the highlights here. It says cut out time consuming setup work. So create fully functioning application scaffold for you with all the steps and package integrations taken care of. Okay, this means you can get ahead and focus on your application specific code. So I see myself maybe using something like this in a hackathon. You fully control the code. Autostrada is not a third-party framework that you import. Cool. Instead, the generated code is your application, meaning it's really easy to extend and adapt it to work exactly as you want. So it's cool that it's not a third-party framework that you have to import. So that's really cool. So that slims down your dependencies. So it's just a code generator. The features you need and none than that. Okay. Tried and tested application structure. Okay, the generated code gives you a really solid foundation to continue building on with clear and sensible application structure. So I don't like this because it says try and tested. Well, it's try and tested for you, right? It's not try and tested for um, say me or someone who's just starting a new project. So I think this is just a marketing gimmick. Pack with useful helpers. Now, one of the things I don't like about helpers, especially if you're written by someone else, is that If they have a good API, that's really cool. But helpers are best written for you by yourself. But if it's a generic helper, think about Lodash. I see Lodash as a helper library. If it's something like that, then that's good, and it's open source. So how does this work if there is no GitHub repo? So let's just see get started. Oh, it brings you here. Interesting. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and just try this out. So traditional web application JSON API. I'm going to go ahead with the JSON API approach because JSON is quite simple to test in the browser, on Postman and stuff like that. So I'll choose this JSON API. I'm going to skip the database parts because I really want this video to be short. So I'll just go with none, and we can use like an in-memory data structure. Pick your preferred router. Oh, nice. So you can choose to do a traditional web application or a JSON API. And this generates like the scaffold for you. You could also choose, so I'll just choose this one, select a database. So there's mostly relational database. So I don't see a MongoDB here, uh, you know, Cassandra, and maybe full text search like Elasticsearch, which is fine. I mean, you really don't need this if you're like starting off really early. That wouldn't be the first thing you're going to start with. So I'm just going to say none for now because I want to keep things simple. I just want a proof of concept. Pick your preferred router. So there's Chai, there's Flow, there's HTTP router. Now, I have worked with HTTP router. I haven't worked with Flow or Chai, but the router I work with on a day-to-day basis is the Echo. Echo, it's a really good router. I love and I've been able to create abstraction around that. So let's see. Sorry about this. This is a collab. Okay, Golang. So Echo, yep, cool. So this is the router I've used for the most part, and it's pretty common. I wish it was you just have this kind of like, it reminds me of Sinatra, where you have route and you have handlers. It's pretty much the same thing. You give it a route and handler. But again, it's in Go, you really don't need a router, to be honest. Like Go has everything you need to build a fully functioning application. So I'm just going to choose, can I not choose any router? Okay, let's just pick something I haven't worked with before. Let's check this out. I need something that's simple and easy to use. So let's search Google for that. I just want to look at the README and see how cool it is. Okay. Okay, this is a lot. All right, cool. I'll just go with something simple because this is literally really simple. Like you don't need much. It's just one file really. Yeah, you create this. So this is a lot more easy. So I'll go with the basics. So now we've chosen JSON API. We haven't chosen the database yet. Now we've chosen like the HTTP router. Now there's step 4. It seems there are 5 steps. Step 4, you could choose a makefile. Let's just makefile. Cool. There's basic authentication. Okay. I'm going to remove authentication. There's email sending. Now this is something I'd advise you to experiment with yourself, like just play around with all this. And then, there's secure cookies and all of that. So just go with this one and login, just something basic. And then finally, tweak your project. Enter the unique module path that you want your project to use. So let's just give it example.com/ JSON API, maybe. And as soon as we're done, we can click generate now. Okay, so that redirects us here. And that was a redirect. And now we're asked to download a zip file. Download zip file. Here we have it. Now, one of the things I don't like about this entire step is that, let's see, what if I go back? Does it preserve my, oh, it does preserve all the things I entered. Okay, cool. But one of the questions I do have, but again, I think let's just give this a start. Let's see what we have in the code base here. Okay, so let's see what we have in the code base here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna drag this to my other computer and um, extract this. So I extracted this program. I'm gonna create a new, sorry guys, I have two screens open here. So uh, I'm gonna drag this here, find new window, and I'm just gonna drag this guys over here. So I just want to drag the source code over here. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, let's just push this over. Okay, I can drag this. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Now, yes, I trust this. Let's see what we've got here. So this is the folder structure that was generated for us. Let's look at what we have here. Our module name, it preserved the module name that we, add earlier. Sorry, I just want to pull this out here. See? Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, cool. So this looks cool. So I've got this here, standard stuff. I'm just looking at what it generates. So there's some things here like colorable and all of that. Okay, fine. Version of application. That's cool. Oh, and then it also has a gate. It also has a gate. Sorry, guys. This is a computer I'm still getting used to. It also has a git. So it initialized the project with a git repository, which I think I might not want. But okay, that's fine. Let's see here. API, we've got errors. At first ground, let's look at the, so you want to look at this just to see what kind of packages it's pulling for security purposes. The README is pretty standard. I used to have a README preview. Oh, this is readme.html, not .md. Okay, I don't have an HTML preview here, but let me copy the path to this application and then go to my browser and paste this and see what this looks like. Okay, cool. So here we go. The README is an HTML document, not a Markdown. It's easy to generate HTML than it's easy to generate Markdown, by the way. So I guess that's why they opted out for this. So all I need to do is just run this command to start my application. So let's go ahead and do this. Oh, sorry guys. I'm getting used to this computer. I work on the Linux, but my screen recorder on the Linux does not work. Oh, okay, so that would have to do some go mod tidy. Oh, so here's another thing that I run into. So I need Go 1.1.8. I'm currently using Go 1.1.7. Let's see if I could quickly um, download in a version of Go. Let's just pick this one. We're gonna let that download. So while that is being downloaded, let's go back to the README that was generated and see. So this is all we need to start the application. Uh, if the version of Go were actually being um, specified here, it would have been nice, but you can see that that's a problem as well for us. However, I think you could always change that here, right? But the problem with that is you might have breaking changes with your library, so you can see that here. Okay, cool. So again, if the version of Go were to be like, let me specify the version of Go that I want, but I guess that's hard to do because you might have breaking changes with whatever library Autostrada tends to like attach to, you know, the the code generated. So good news is I have downloaded Go 1.1.8. So I'm going to reload this window. Um, so now running this command should make the application work. Okay, so that's good, 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 good. I'm going to go ahead and just repeat the same command. I think it's go run something, right? Oh, sorry guys. I got a bunch of, this is a computer I'm getting used to. I'm still getting used to this computer. It's a Mac. And okay, cool. So let's see what we have here. Oh, nice. I love the log. Looks good. Everything is running on ports 444 quadruple fours. Okay, cool. I don't want to core. I just let's see what we have here. Uh, paste and go. Oh, nice. Is there an introspection endpoint where I can see all the routes available? No. Okay, it's fine, but you really don't want this. Like this alone is a lot. So let's see. Let's see how quickly I could get an endpoint up and running without knowing much about this. So internal, I assume, is where everything um, related to the application lies. So let's say request. So this is decode JSON. Okay. So how do I add a new endpoint? So there's a validator. I'm going to ignore all of that. There's a server. This runs. Okay, so how do I go about adding a new endpoint? I guess this is where I have to focus more on the README, but I'm trying to see how much of like how much of like can I figure things out without even having to go through the README? That's what I'm trying to see here. So quickly, I'm just gonna go here, handlers. So this is an endpoint status. So remember that endpoint here, the status endpoint here, right? Now, the first thing I'm gonna guess is, does it map method name um, to route? I doubt, but I'm just gonna try this out. I'm just gonna hook up a new method here. Um, I'm just gonna hook up a new, sorry guys, I'm just gonna hook up a new method here. Um, so I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna hook up a new method, and then let's just call this hello. And I'll go here is just to return, uh, I'll go here is just to return an HTTP a string that says hello. So I've got response. So I can just response. Sorry, is there a string? Oh, it has to be JSON. It needs a writer. It needs a status. A status could be okay. So let's just give it it has to be, let's just give it 200. And data, just say hello world. Okay, cool. And I guess that's it. But let's see if there's an error. Let's just stick with the defaults. If error not equals to nil, we just do the save error thing here. Okay, cool, fine. So now I've added an endpoint. Does it support auto reload out of the box? I don't know. So I just added this. My guess is if I reload this, go hello. I know that's not going to work, by the way. Okay, that's fine. But okay, I want to see if it supports auto reload. Okay, mama. Oh, it doesn't support auto reload out of the box. It doesn't. Okay, cool. That's fine. I mean, but it doesn't support auto reloads. I'm just gonna just put this up, and then when I start this all over again, let's reload this page. Okay, cool. Now, so how do I get this to serve my request? It doesn't look. Oh, there's a route here. See, and this is the route where you give it the verb, you give it the path, and you give it the method. So let's just add a new mux handler. So we're just going to call it handle func, and we're going to call it get. I'll just call it hello, and I'll call it app.hello. Okay, cool. And if okay, sorry, this does not support auto reload. So we've got to kill the process, start it all over again, and then change this to hello. Okay, cool. All right. So, I mean, this is cool. It was easy to hook up a new endpoints. Like, it was pretty easy, like without even having to go through the README. That was easy. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to work on the subset of this code base. And let's just go through some of this here. So the main application has some flags defined. For instance, you could set where on what port you want the application to listen on, right? So you could also provide an environment. So I think there's a configuration here. From what I understand here, it's like this is default values that you can configure yourself. There's a base URL and all of that. So let's see if I could change the port to listen on 5000. So I could just say I guess this is how you pass a flag. So localhost 5000. Nope, it's not listening. I guess that's not how you pass a flag then. So I think I'm missing the hyphen, I guess. Oh yeah, cool. Now if I go here, let's see. Okay, I could. All right, cool. That's fine. So if I go back to status, I'm cool. Nice. There's no index route, which you can also define here, I guess. So you could come over here, and I guess here you could just really do the same thing here with a mux, the handle func gets. Let's just make this the index routes, and then we could just do the response thing. I think it's response the JSON. It needs a writer, it needs a status, and we can just call this the home page. Oh, it's JSON, so let's just call this on page 1.0. Okay, cool. And then we could start our process again, and then reload the page. Cool, that was cool. So it was easy to really add an endpoint. Let's see what the make file contains. So in the make file, I have help, tidy. Oh, nice. So I could just, this just runs or the Go command for tidying my application. I could also audit for security, vulnerability, or anything else. I could build, I could run. So rather than um, running the um, the go run command, I could just say make run, and that would build the application. So it does build the application, as you can see here. It does build the application, and then you have the application running. Um, Now I don't see purple logs here because now it tells me it's listening on 444. Cool, which is interesting. So the makefile seems pretty basic as well. And you've got some validators as well. I think this is cool. It takes I think it's for the most part, you might have to learn some of these things because I think I don't have all the time to go through all of the files in here. But at least I was able to add a couple of routes without reading the documentation, so that's good. I was able to tweak a few things like changing the port where the application starts. The makefile it generated was cool. The one problem I had was the Go version. I had to install Go 1.1.8 because I don't have it on this machine, and I I was in for a surprise because that wasn't even mentioned here. Also, um, so that was it. So yeah, I could follow I could figure things out without having to read the documentation. So that's cool. Uh, uh, and the logs are great as well. So cool. I mean, this seems pretty okay. So this is fine, but it still takes a while, getting used to understanding the folder structure. And this brings me to the next part. So do I like this? Yes, I like it. I'm trying to just get a proof of concept out of the way. Well, I could use it, but I think it's fine, right? It's okay. It's okay. It takes a while, like getting used to all the application, the folder structure, and all of that. It's still it's still an investment. You have to ask yourself and say, is this something I want to invest in, right? Uh, but like for instance, you can see there's response request, and the question becomes, um, does this folder structure scale in the long haul, right? Does this folder structure? But it looks okay. But at the end of the day, for me, I would say, will I use this? I'll say it depends. It depends on like if I'm just trying to get something out of the way real quick, right? Then probably I would use it. I would use it, right? Uh, one question I would ask is if I do choose, say something like, so the other issue I have, like I talked about the Go version. The other issue I have is say you want to update. Now I have this structure. What if I wanted to add Postgres to this? Then I'd have to go through the steps all over again, right? Which for me is a little bit of an inconvenience, as I can't do that, right? But looking at it, it's cool, it's okay. Like a lot of the boilerplate code has been generated for you, but you still have to learn this stuff. A lot of things I don't like about it as well because, um, like again, it takes a while getting used to. Um, it takes a while getting used to because you have to learn all these folder structures. The fact that you can't, say update an existing generated code. The fact that it is on the web. I mean, it's good, but if it were a local instance that I could run to update my current code base, I think I would like that more. And I don't know if this folder structure scales in the long haul because at the end of the day, you might have to introduce other abstractions to your code base. So does this scale as the complexity of your project goes? And to be honest with you, Go is a very simple language that doesn't need too much bell and whistles. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So if all you want to do is just a simple API that just renders stuff, you could write that in less code than what we have generated here. I'll say this is good for you have a potential MVP you're trying to build and you really haven't decided on what photo structure to use. This is a good this is a good this is a good solution for you. But if you're trying to build something simple just as a proof of concept, then I would say no, don't use this. Just write a simple Go Go function or a package that just takes in an HTTP request and returns a response for you. Now, having said that, it's if you're building an MVP for a client and you don't have like you're getting started. For most people who are full-time Go programmers, they have some mental model of their folder structure or some sort of architecture. So they would tend to use that most of the time than using this. But if you're getting started with Go and you haven't quite yet figured out what your folder structure should look like, I think this would be a good start. This would be a good start. But will I use this? I already have a folder structure personally that I use. So the I could use this if I just want to bootstrap something quickly because the folder structure I have right now isn't I can't auto generate stuff, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so that's I think that's all here. I don't want to take much of the time. I don't want this video to go over, but let's talk about Golang and code generation. So the thing with Go, the thing I like about Go is it's an awesome language. It's easy to learn. You don't need too much dependencies, to be honest, and that's a good thing. Now, but you could for most programmers or for most seasoned Go developer, or you don't even have to be a Go developer. As a web developer, software engineer, whatever you do, if you build the same type of application over and over again, there's a likely chance that you already have a folder structure in mind, or a folder structure that works for you. Perhaps it even scales for your use case. That brings me to uh, a simple code I've written for this video, which is it doesn't take much to implement a source code generator in Go. It's pretty simple. It's like few lines of code and you're done. So if you have an existing, folder structure or architecture, and all you want to do is generate code, take for instance, you have a repository, you have a handler, you have models, that kind of stuff, and you want to automate that so that when you onboard new people, they just run a command to say generate a new model, generate a new repository, generate a new controller, just like Rails generator, Rails scaffold generator, or generators in other language. Then it takes really few lines of code to implement that, and I'll drag another window right here and show you what that looks like. So I use GitHub Copilot, guys. So the first thing you really need to do, guys, is all you need to do is just have a template like this. So you have this template. So this is just a template, and the template here is just a text file. Like pretty much that's it. You define like the common piece of code in the templates, right? That's it. It's just a text file, right? So you can see here, this is a repository, and I've defined the common piece of code. Now, the other things is the parts that change, the varying parts, the variables, the things that change. For instance, this is a repository, and in a repository could be generally abstraction. Let's just call it abstraction of all the SQL queries your application needs to make. So like get all, find all, you can see here, get all, get, create, update, delete, CRUD operations, right? So if you have several entities in your code base, like users, books, products, you would want to do this over and over again. So it doesn't make sense to type all of these characters every time. And you could just write a simple command line program that, or if you want to make it a web UI, that works as well, a REST UI, whatever. But write a simple command line program that asks you for the entity name and lets you generate that entity or that repository. And you could do this for your handlers. You could do this for HTML templates. You could do it for anything, right? You could go big with this thing. So that's why when I compare just having a standard, Go generator with Autostrada, I'd say if you already have an existing folder structure or architecture that works for you, then by all means, just go ahead and just do this. So here you have the templates, and here you have the variant paths encoded in curly braces, which is when you run the generator, that variant path gets injected into this templates. So here I have the templates, and here I've written. This is the code you need, right, to um, you know make this happen. But let's just see. I'm just going to run it quickly and you see how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and run this program with go run. So I have main.go and I will give it, so let's give it the user. And you can see here it created user repository. So I have user repository. And let's see if we can open these side by side. So you see here I have the variant paths here changed, right? You can see I have this here, user repository. See, those paths got changed. And if I wanted to do it for book, let's say I have a book entity as well, and you can see that here I have a book repository as well. So all I did, this is simple stuff, and I'll put the code on GitHub. This is simple stuff, and you can get it done really quick. You just take the templates, you create the file, you execute the templates with the parameters, right? And pretty much that's it. And all I'm just doing here is just calling this function, right? All I'm doing is calling this function with whatever parameter is passed. Of course, this is not production ready code, but really you can trick up a few things and you're good to go. So if you have an existing folder structure, say you have an existing folder structure, you don't have to use Autostrada. And and maybe this is where I think feedback for the guys at Autostrada is maybe I would use it if I could, define my own templates like this, or however, and then be able to say generate the code I want and copy and paste. I think I'll probably use it if it has that functionality. Like I could just, define a template here, substitutes the values that I need to, change, and then it generates that. I would use it in that case because it saves me a lot of time, and then I don't have to go around, writing this complex stuff for different people. So, but if you're a Golang developer or starting out in Go and you already have the perfect, it says here, it says tried and tested application structure. So if you have a tried and tested application structure as a consultant that you've been using, then I think just writing a generator in your like in Go for yourself, like just take a weekend and do this. You could get more value than say using a tool like this. But if you're starting out with Go and you don't know how to structure files and projects, and I think this is a good one for you. Hello guys, so this is me showing myself. This is the first YouTube video I'm trying to show my face, but hey guys, please like and subscribe. Watch. I'll try and make more videos as soon as I can. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this content, if it's too long. Anyway, but just like, share, and nice work to the guys at Autostrada for making this amazing tool. I enjoyed reviewing this application. Of course, I didn't have the time to go through all of the files and photos generated, but overall, I see a use case um, for this too. Have a good one, guys. Bye.